Hello, I'm Dawn from Clara James Tutoring, and before Christmas, I had a couple of conversations with various parents about how they were making revision planners for their children. Thought, oh, okay, this I wonder whether that's something that I could make a generic one that would be helpful for people. Um, and one thought led to another. It's kind of like you climb into bed and you're ready to go to sleep, you're tired out, and your brain suddenly goes, "Ha, had an idea," and this was one of them, and I put together a revision planner, which at the beginning has let me show, this is just the draft one, but at the beginning it kind of like has a bit about how we learn. I don't know if you can see this, how we learn, and then it goes on a bit further, um, how some revision suggestions, and then go on a bit further and it asks you what your why is as more revision suggestions as well. It asks you why is because I mean, as adults, we often kind of like um we take a new job. Why have you taken that new job? Because I want more money. I want to be in a job that I actually enjoy. And there's normally a reason why we do something. Whereas for a lot of kids, they can't grasp the idea of why they've got to do the exam in this because it's never going to be useful in life. When I'm working with kids doing maths, they've always go, oh, well, when am I ever going to use this? And a lot of it, you kind of, yeah, it's quite abstract and it's going to be quite hard to justify learning it. But I think it's often the case that you use it without ever actually recognizing it. But that's for another day. Um, so I thought, well, if I put together this planner and then behind the revision suggestions, there's a place where each week you can kind of like plan, you pick your what your focus is going to be, and then you plan it. I mean, this is something you could put together for yourself. It's literally just a simple table and then some notes, a space for some notes. So you could just pop it into a normal notepad. And there's also a section on where you're going to revise and have a think about what you're going to revise. Um, I tell you what, I'm just going to read you this bit. Here are a few generic suggestions for to help you get started. They're inspired by what I've seen others do over the past few years. I hope they help. Work through past papers. They can be found either on the exam board websites or on websites such as Revision World. Read the mark schemes. By doing this, you can learn a lot about what the examiners are looking for and how they allocate the marks. Watch YouTube clips on specific aspects that you are learning about. Treat them like a walk and talk mock. Use at least 5 colours when you are making notes. It goes back to the idea of stimulating more ideas in the brain, making it easier to recall the information when needed. So in more areas in the brain, making it easier to recall the information when needed. Don't try and sit and study for long periods. You won't take it in. Set a timer for 30 to 45 minutes, then have a 10-minute break. If you're struggling to get started, commit to just 5 minutes. Once you've got started, you may keep going. If you don't, at least you've achieved some 5 minutes worth of revision. It's not a lot, but it's better than nothing. I've already mentioned how my son made a note. Sorry. I've already mentioned how my son made each of his quotes into a series of images for his A-level English. This is referring to something earlier. Um, and he got an A-star in his A-level English and credits much of that for doing this. What I'm basically talking about there, sorry, that's out of context, so it doesn't make much sense. What he did was for his English literature, the quotes he had to learn, he made them into images. So, for example, Macbeth, there's a quote which is along the lines of, "Is this a dagger I see before me, handle towards my hand," something like that. And so his quote was something like a picture of a dagger, an eye, a picture of the sea, a bee at the number 4, and then a picture of him. And then I can't remember how the rest of it went on, but it was along those lines. A dagger I see before me. It was really clever. And the effort it took to make them, which was a lot of effort, I admit, but because and then he had them dotted around the house so they can like rent into his subconscious, and then we'd take the dog for a walk and I'd kind of test him on them while we were out. But a combination of all of it worked really well for him, and like I say, he got an A-star in English, so at A-level. So mind maps and post-it notes are always popular. Ask for help when you need it. Believe in yourself and put the effort in. There is no reason why you can't reach your full potential. And one more suggestion before we get started. What do you enjoy doing? If you focus your vision around this, then you're more likely to actually do it. If you enjoy watching YouTube, watch relevant YouTube clips. If you like being artistic and creative, create posters, images, mind maps. If you like to go for a run, listen to yourself while you run, reading back over your revision notes. I know revision isn't the most exciting thing in the world, but a few months of hard work now and you can put it behind you. And if you can at least semi-enjoy it as you do it, surely that has to be a bonus. And this is kind of like a sideline, really. I put this together, but after I'd done this, I was kind of reflecting on the business, and for the last probably a year ago, probably last Christmas, maybe the one before, my son bought me a pad, just a lined pad. And for the last year, what I've done is at the end of each day, I've written myself a note as to what I've achieved today to move the business forward. And while I was writing, creating this, I thought, actually, well, I think it was probably afterwards, it was probably one of my midnight thoughts. Um, Actually, as a student, if I was to write down each day one thing that I've done today to help me pass my exams, it would probably actually act as a motivator, and it would also show me how far I've come, because at the beginning it could be the fact that I've written down, um, today I worked on, I don't know, um, multiplying fractions. Still not sure that I get it, but I've spent half an hour doing it and I feel I've made some progress. And then say 2 or 3 weeks later, you may have kind of like gone, I think I finally got multiplying fractions, feeling of great relief or whatever. I probably wouldn't phrase it like that if you're a teenager. Um, but the idea is that as you write down what you've done, it motivates you because you don't want to break that chain. But in addition, as you do look back, you can see the things which were proving to be a challenge a couple of months ago, but now they're actually proving to be fairly straightforward. The beginning of last year, my Jamie again was moving to Indonesia, and my goal that I put in there was that this year I'm going to go and visit Jamie in Indonesia. At that time, we didn't know whereabouts. Or I think I put in September, I'm going to go and visit Jamie in Indonesia. And didn't know how I was going to do it. And at that time, it seemed like a huge goal. A couple of months later, I arranged with him that he was going to run the marathon in Bali and I'd go and watch him run it. A couple of months after that, I booked it. And now it's my reality. And last summer, we went to Bali. But it's one of those, and it's like he's planning his next marathon now. And we were saying the other day, a year, 18 months ago, he ran his first half marathon. That was kind of, wow, Jamie's run half a marathon. And now he's done 2 marathons. He's planning his third. And the other day he said, oh, he's going for a short run. And, oh, brilliant. How far did you go? I just did half marathon. And now it's his norm because it's what he's kind of like, he's worked at it, and just slowly nicked away at it. And now he just does a half marathon as an easy run. And it's the same when we revise. But I also think what we need to do is try and remember. So I went off topic there. Try and remember why we're doing it. Is it because I just want to pass my maths and never do it again? Is it because I love history and if I get an a C in history, I can do it at A level? Is it because I really want to become a whatever, and in order to do that, I need to go to university, and in order to get to the university I want to go to, these are the A levels I need, and in order to get on the course to do those A levels, these are the GCSEs I need. And so it's about thinking about the bigger picture. It's not just a case of, come on, you've got to get on with it, you've got to do it. And I was also thinking last night about the fact that if, as at parents, we had to write, my brain had gone off on another tangent then, and I was thinking about the 11 plus. But if parents, if we had to write one thing I've done today to help my child pass their exams, if all we put was nag them, I think we'd feel a bit deflated with ourselves. But if we were to write, okay, one thing I've done today to help them, I bought them the highlighters that they asked for. They said they were struggling with this in class, and so I found a YouTube clip for them to watch. So I just sat down and spoke to them today because they were worried about something, and we just had a heart to heart. So no matter what it is, no how big or small it may seem, I made them a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, a drink of squash, took them up a drink while they were revising, gave them a pat on the back and gave them encouragement, praised them for the effort they were putting in. Rewarded them with, I don't know, whatever, extra time on their screens or whatever it is that you offer as a reward. If we were to do that as adults as well and take some of the responsibility on for ourselves, I think it would also make a huge difference to our kids. rather than just kind of saying, look, you've got revision, you've got exams coming up, you need to go and revise, go get on top with it, and kind of in effect passing the buck. Because although they may be 15 and 16 and still and seem very grown up in that respect, they're still actually only kids, and so they do need our support. So so yeah, but I guess the main idea from this is the fact that if you can encourage them to write down one thing each day that they've done to help them pass their exams, whether it's just I revised for 5 minutes, I watched a 3 minute YouTube clip, I did, even if it's something really tiny, remember that that is still something more than they would have done if they couldn't be bothered to do anything. It's not ideal, but it is something. And once we start to take action, we can move. But while we're not doing anything with stationery, we're not going to get anywhere. So yeah, if you get them to write down what they've done each day to help them pass their exams, fantastic. If you do the same to what have I done today to help my child pass, even better, because then you can work as a team and it's not just all the onus on them or the onus on you. So I'll stop talking now. Um, I'll see you in another video.